Life.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us in this live seminar. Today, we're going to be speaking with students who are currently studying in Ireland. We're going to be talking about, everything about from how they got to study in their various schools in Ireland to how their classes are going and how the student life is like in Ireland. So please stay tuned, listen to them, and feel free to ask your questions. And I'm sure they will be so pleased to give us the responses that we need to hear. Today, I have with me two current students studying in Ireland, and I will let them introduce themselves before we continue. Can we meet you, please?
Hello, I think I'll just go first. My name's Uche. I'm currently doing my master's in big data analytics at Atlantic Technological University. It's up at Donegal. I started my master's last year in September, but I arrived like about a month earlier in August, and yeah, I'll be completing my master's later this year. So I'm glad to have all of you on board, and I'm also glad to also walk you through my journey of coming to Ireland and how Ireland is.
Thank you, Chena. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, so my name is Blessy, and I'm currently running my master's in public health, and my major is in health informatics and health economics. My master's is due for completion in July.
Nice to
Good to
meet
have
you,
you all.
Blessing. Good to have you as well. Good to have you, Blessing. Good to have you, Chena. So you're going to be taking us through, Ireland and the student life as current students. We would like to hear from you, and I'm sure our audience will also like to know a lot of things, talking about your application process to your current institution, how you arrived in Ireland, how you're seeing the classes, everything. So please feel free to share with us and let us learn from you. So Blessing, I would ask you this one. What motivated you to study in Ireland?
First, I never had any idea about Ireland, but I was more intentional about the course I wanted to do, and that was what brought about Ireland. Because I was doing public health, and it was going to be a course that I would find anywhere, but my intentionality was for a particular course and the modules, and then I was able to find it in Ireland. So I decided to check out Ireland, what the culture is like, how the educational system was, and it was quite fascinating. The competition for me was between the UK and Ireland, and when I decided to weigh both my goals for both countries, I decided to go for Ireland. One, it was affordable. Two,
Hmm.
the educational system as well was well rated. The school I was going to as well was fourth ranking in the whole of Ireland. So that just captivated me. And the major one was the course I was going for. They had the right modules I wanted to do. And that was it for me, to be honest. And I just decided to go for it.
Interesting. Thank you, Blessing. Uchenna, what about you? Is your story the same, or do you have a different background?
Yes, so I was always Ireland inclined for about a year before I moved. I kind of knew I was going to Ireland, so I already had three universities on my shortlist. I already knew the course I was doing, so I was working as a data analyst back in Nigeria before I even moved. So I already knew what I wanted to do. I'm studying a big data analytics, so I already knew what I wanted to do. I already shortlisted three schools that I wanted to go to, and then I applied. I ended up applying for 12, and I just went with one of them. That I just made a few, and then I decided to go into with ATU. But Ireland was always the choice I was going for like a year before I ended up moving.
Hmm. Interesting. So, Uchenna, what was your application process like to ATU? Was it seamless? Were you able to do your application yourself to your current institution?
Yes. I sent my application in February last year. I ended up moving
Mhm.
to Ireland at the end of August, but I started my application process in February last year, February 16th, if I remember properly. Yeah, on February 16th, so tomorrow last year. So
Mhm.
I got my admission. I got my admission in like a week, and I did everything myself. I just read some articles on the university's website, and they walked me through
Great.
the entire process about to do the documents I needed. So I just went into their website, uh, applied with my documents, got my documents from my school, applied my documents, and in about a week I got my English test, writing my English test, and then getting my visa documents ready. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. I really applaud your ability to do some research on your own and then go ahead and, make this application yourself. So it's a clear, I mean, it's an encouragement to those listening to you that you can actually begin your application process to Ireland by yourself. You just need to do some research on the web and throw in your application. It's not so difficult. Blessing, do you want to take us through your application process to your institution?
For me, it was seamless, to be honest, because the school website, that's University of Limerick, was user friendly. All you need to do is, especially if you know what you want,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're not sure, you can as well just walk through some of the guidelines or like the brochure they already have on the website. But if you know what you wanted to do, for someone like me, all I needed to do was just look out for the course, and then I was able to get the website for the department. I went there, then it has all requirement needed for you to put in your application through. Did
Mm-hmm.
all of that, and then I realized I needed to do an additional English test, the Duolingo test. I had it done and then submitted it. And to be honest, once you register your interest as a prospect, the school starts your case immediately. Like they start to send you emails about what you need to do, what's the next step. If you're missing anything out, they contact you. And that made it even more seamless because even if you miss out anything, since they're walking you through the whole process, you definitely wouldn't miss anything out personally. And in less than 3 weeks, I got the admission, and yeah, my visa process started. Okay, I needed to pay. Then after paying, then visa process. That was it.
Wow, very, very interesting. I really like to hear about this follow up from your schools. It's very commendable. So let's talk about your arrival in Ireland. How was your day one, Blessing? Can you remember? If you can't remember your day one, at least I know you can remember your first few weeks. How was it?
I arrived very late actually that night. So I arrived
Okay.
in Dublin, and I had to stay in Dublin for the night. So the next day I came to school. It was very welcoming because my department kind of like resumed earlier than every other department. So the school was
Okay.
still very dry, but my department was very welcoming. It was straight to the orientation, and then they kind of treated us special, so to say, probably because we're international students. We had our welcome packet. They gave me a tag. Try help me move my things, which was like very wow, like help you move your things. It didn't make me feel like a postgrad student. I felt like fresh person. And then we started the orientation. It started for like 11, and we had tea break. They fed us like they gave us
Wow.
proper meal and
Wow.
told us walked us through how the semester was going to be. In fact, how the old school year was going to be. And then some of my colleagues, that my classmates now that were not around, were online, and they made us feel together even though they were not here. And for me, who was there, it was the experience was very wonderful. Like I wouldn't even forget those times. My lecturers coming around to introduce themselves. They wanted to know what I was doing back at home, what my experience was like, what I'm hoping to achieve now that I'm here. And the orientation felt like one-on-one kind of talk because, like I
Wow.
said, it was a faculty orientation. It wasn't like the whole school orientation. So that was it for my first week. And throughout the first 1 month, to be honest, or like in fact till now, each time I'm not getting anything right, they're always a step closer to me. Once you send them an email, they tell you what next you're supposed to do, or even if they don't know, they are willing to like lead you to someone who would help you with whatever you need to know. And that was it. Until now, yeah, I'm still enjoying that.
It's radiating over your face. All right. So Uchina, how
Yeah.
was your arrival in Ireland? How welcomed did you feel?
So I came in. I came in the last week of August. I came in through the Dublin airport as well. My flight was the first flight in the morning. I arrived in Dublin at 6 a.m. So I already knew a friend at Dublin, so I stayed. I just hung around Dublin for the day with her. Uh,
Okay.
then I had to now take a bus to go to my city. It's like about a 4 hours bus from Dublin here. So I had to take a bus to my city. There already a few friends. I already have a few friends here that I already knew that they were coming, and they had come. They had come in a few days and a few weeks before me. So they welcomed me with food and and all that. I already had my accommodation settled before I even came in. So I was kind of like shuttling between their place and my own place.
Mhm.
Since I came about 3 weeks earlier than the school started, so I was just roaming around the city and trying to settle down properly before school started. So when the school started, we just had orientation. Classes kicked off very very quickly. It was like a very very steep learning process, but then because of uh, because of the fact that I already had experience coming into the masters, I was able to handle the first few weeks without having more challenges. But yeah, there was already a huge Nigerian community here, and I already knew some of them before I even came here, so mingling with them was quite easy. Yeah.
Oh, very good to hear. So let us look at the academic experience now, because I mean, you obviously went to Ireland to study. So, what is your current classroom experience like? Did it meet your expectations? Do you look forward to your classes? What is it about your classes that you enjoy currently?
Is that for me?
Oh, yes,
Me,
Uchenna,
yeah.
that's for you,
Okay.
please.
Okay, yeah. So we are 16. We're 16 in my class. Yeah, we're 16.
Okay.
So my classes, the classes are usually a bit smaller. They try to cover it about 20 or 25. If it's like a high demand program, they cover it at like 25. If it's a low demand program, they cover it at 20. But my class we're 16. So we use interactive. We do a lot of interactive learning. We have this very very huge computers at every class where wherever the lecturer is saying, we can just easily also look at it on our own computers too. uh,
Mhm.
the lectures, I saw someone mention a question in the chat. The lectures are actually not all Irish. A lot of my lecturers are immigrants. I know my machine learning lecturer is she's from Pakistan. She's from Pakistan. Then the lady that taught me business intelligence last semester, she was from Nigeria as well. So they actually have like a very very good mix of lecturers, and it's like a smaller classroom size. So the lecturer actually knows everybody's names. They come in and they call you by my name. Like for example, today my lecturer called my name and said, "Uche, every time I come to this class, you're always on your phone." Yeah, it's just one of those things. But then everybody knows everybody's. The lecturers know everybody's names at least after like a week or two because of the small classroom size, and you don't need to. It's not like it's not like the educational system in Africa where you'll be in a class of like 200 people, 300 people, and then you just get lost, and and you can actually ask the lecturer questions. And every class has for every class I have, we have our own separate group chat. It can be on WhatsApp, it can be on Skype, it can be on Discord, it can be on any platform as lecturer chooses. So the lecturer, you can actually message the lecturer, and they would respond efficiently on that to help you with any assignment or any queries you have in your personal project.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that insight to what your classroom experience is like at
Yeah.
ATU. And Blessing, can you share with us what your academic experience is like at the moment with University of Limerick?
Well, mine's different. Uchenna's class is quite small. I'm in a class of 34,
Okay.
and it's quite a lot. And the dynamic is just even because we're more of immigrants. We have Nigerians, people from a lot, Indians.
Mm-hmm.
East Africa, Americans, and Irish in my class. So it's quite a lot. And so because of this, is my lecturers are quite doing a lot actually at the moment because they have to look at the dynamic in all of us and language. Like I said, we have even Indians, we have Chinese in my class
Okay.
that they can't even, like, they have language barrier, they don't even understand the normal English. So he has to come down to our level to like explain to us and let us know. And because it's a thought masters, they just have to take it. So my classes sometimes will last for like 2 hours straight up. And that's because he has to go in there, like come to everybody's level such that he's impacting knowledge into us. And talking about academics generally, coming here was, it was something I wanted, but everybody keeps saying studying abroad is easy. Yes, it's easy because everything you need, it's actually there for you. Talk internet, talk support, and all those things. But for me, it was quite different because the dynamics of their teaching was, it was a taught masters, but you have assignments you have to do on your own. And because I was new to their educational system, I wasn't finding it funny. Now, this is where they really did it big for me because I wasn't finding it funny. They didn't think that, oh, that's my problem. They saw it as their problem for me to be able to understand. So they went out of their ways to make me understand and make more like make me excel. So they didn't leave me just to myself and booking appointment for me for regional writing, academic writing, just to show that I can do it myself. And
Mhm.
if there's any support I can ask for, there was nothing better than that because that actually helped me with my first module. And after that, I'm currently running my fifth module at the moment, and I can see I've improved so far, like so very much. Sometimes my supervisor will say, "I'm like, I can't believe this was you in module one. You always look confused."
Wow.
But yeah, so that's how much they were ready to like impact in me. They knew I had a challenge understanding, but then they didn't look at the that side of me. They looked at the bright side and decided to do a thing with me. And trust me, they are doing very well. Like it's totally value for money. That's just the
They
way to
knew you
get.
had the potentials. They
Yeah,
made you kinetic. Yeah. So I really enjoy hearing this. I mean, how engaging your classrooms are, how invested your lecturers are to seeing that you excel. And I mean, what more can you ask for in I mean educationally? What more can you ask for? So let's see. I would like to know about your work and study life. Have you been, have you experienced, I mean, are you experiencing that at the moment? And if you are, tell us how it's going for you. Let's now like for you to engage with me first on this.
okay, yeah. I work and study at the moment. I work in a retail store at the moment, and if there's any big lesson that has taught me, it's time management because now I have to manage studies as well as also work and also bring my own quota to work as well. Like more like you have to just give your own part to work aside from just going there to do your normal routine. They expect that you bring something extra, even though you're working as a retail assistant. So if there's any other lesson I'm going to learn out of having to work and study is my time management. I have assignments, I have classes, I have meetings, I have group projects as well. I have to work. And so that has made me manage my work. And if there's any other thing I'm going to say is independence. So
Mhm.
I I as well work. That means I have to like cater for myself and all of that. I don't have to call them back at home to support me anymore. Yeah, let's say independent woman in Ireland. Let's leave it that way.
All right, Uchenna, just before you take up that question, please, if you're just joining us, this is I mean, panel discussion with current students, who are studying in Ireland. So we have Blessing, who is currently studying in University of Limerick, and Uchenna, who is currently studying at Atlantic Technological University. So they've been taking us through their perspective of the student life in Ireland. I mean, they have told us so much from what motivated them to study in Ireland to how the application process to their current institution was very seamless. They also talked to us about their arrival in Ireland and how they enjoyed the Irish welcome. So if you're just joining us, you're most welcome. We're about to ask Uchenna about his work and study life. So Uchenna, what's your work and study life like?
Okay. So mine, I think mine is a bit easier. Is a bit easier than the average person because I only have about 6 hours of classes a week. So because most of my because I'm kind of like in a tech related course, so most of my schoolwork is assignments, projects, and stuff like that. Just kind of like write codes and other stuff. But when I first when I joined when I came to Ireland, I started work a few weeks after, maybe about like 3 4 weeks after, and I started working as a kitchen assistant. I worked as a kitchen assistant for a few months, and then just earlier this month, did make chef, not head chef or anything, just kind
Oh,
of like a junior chef. Yeah, they actually did make me chef. So uh, it kind of it kind of gives me more time because then I have a lot of time in between the busy period in the kitchen and stuff like that. But my work is mostly just on Saturday and Sunday. So I just start in Saturday afternoon till about 10 p.m. on Saturday. So I have like Saturday morning. I still have Saturday morning and Saturday night and Sunday morning and Sunday night to myself. I try to cut my work still at 20 hours, like immigration told us. Um,
okay.
so the rest of the week, I use the rest of the week to do my schoolwork, and I have like a lot of ample time. So it's not like I'm just having to do school, and it's not like I'm just having to do school and work, and then it's taking all my time. I still have time for a lot of other things. I still end up taking trips to go to different places to see people. I end up going to amusement parks. I go kayaking, and I'm trying to learn how to swim.
Interesting.
I'm trying to learn how to swim. So there's like a lot of I still have a lot of time, even with the fact that I'm studying and working at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about your, the student life, the fun parts of your study life. But I'm
Yeah.
happy that
Yeah.
you already addressed that.
Yeah.
So it's good to know that,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not all work for you. You still
I'm
have
quite.
some time to
Yeah.
unwind, Uchenna. So, Blessing, what about you? What's your fun life like? Do you have any yet? Have you been able to?
Well, yeah. So the school kind of give us a body. What the body is supposed to do is tell us places we can visit, historical places, and then they give them tickets to give us. So yeah, I've been to quite a number of places. There are about, I think, 9 counties, and I've been to like 6 already.
Oh,
I'm hoping to
wow.
like finish them. And in Limerick here we have King John's Castle. It's very historical. I've been there. It was really cold when I went, so I think I'll be visiting it again. As well as concerts. I mean, late last year, Burna Boy was in Dublin, and I was there.
Wow.
I
Okay.
was there. Yeah, I was there.
I
Quite a
did. I
number
didn't
of
see
other.
you. I didn't see, and I was there too.
Okay, now were you there as well?
Yeah, I was there. I was there.
Oh, great.
Okay, so I was there, and that was actually very fun. And in my body is from Pakistan too, and the other person is from Brazil. So they're trying to teach me how to speak Brazil, and the other one is just learning to learn other languages as well, which
Okay.
is quite fun for me. I'm hoping to start German too, but I'm taking it one step at a time so I don't get myself too worked up. And then the churches, there are quite a number of churches, but I've been to Winners, Redeem, Abundant Life. Not like I'm shopping
Okay.
around the churches,
Ah.
but like I'm not shopping around the churches, but just try, like, people invite you because they know you're new in the environment, they want to see. But
Okay.
then I'm not. I'm Seventh Day Adventist person, and my church is here as well. But I'm just saying that you could find literally most of those things you think you would miss back at home here as well, and you almost even feel like you're home. So it's been cool.
Oh, very good to hear. I'm happy that I mean both of you have managed successfully to immerse yourself, in your new environment, try to make new friends, see new places, and just generally feel at ease in Ireland. It also goes to show that, I mean, Ireland is a very safe, place, very welcoming. The people are friendly. So if you're still considering, I mean, people who are listening to us now, if you're considering having a study abroad experience, Ireland should be your focus, like the top destination, the top study destination on your list. I mean, it has a lot of study opportunities when you graduate, and even while studying, the opportunities are global. So don't miss out. Make a firm decision and throw in an application. I mean, this February, so that you can join the September 2023 intake. So let us look at the housing options, available to students who come to Ireland to study. So Uchenna, what housing options were you able to choose from when you arrived Ireland?
Yeah, so I think this part is even the most important part when coming to Ireland. Yeah, I think other parts will most likely sort themselves out, but this is actually the part you have to you have to put your step forward to actually secure. So uh for most people I know here, once they get their admission and resumption is close, is close, maybe around May, June, the school starts sending emails. The school starts sending emails. Probably the international body in the school will start sending emails to start telling you to start getting accommodation, and um, and you can start looking for accommodation. My advice would be to actually get accommodation before to try and get accommodation
Mhm.
before you arrive, so that you won't have to come and you start paying for Airbnb, you start paying for hotel, and those are quite pricey. So when I first arrived, I was staying in a house that was very, very far. It was like up a hill, and I was staying alone. So it got quite lonely and all that. I mean, I didn't want to be coming home and then be staying in the house on my own. So I had to also quickly look for another place. I had to quickly look for another place that was closer to the African community that I had here. So it took me about 3-4 weeks. But then it's easier to look for accommodation when you're in Ireland than when you're outside. So it took me about 3-4 weeks to look for the place I'm currently staying at. But I found the first accommodation in July. I made payments from Nigeria. Um, I made payment from Nigeria. I think my advice again would be to secure an accommodation before you come, and also to confirm the places, to confirm that this is not like you're actually paying to the right person, so that you end up like giving your money away and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's very minute, but then there's a chance that stuff like that can happen. They can give someone money, and and uh, and you won't be able to get the accommodation. But then looking for an accommodation is something that you should start doing by about May, June, so that you also get an accommodation and you won't have to come here and start paying exorbitant fees for Airbnb and hotels.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that very good insight. Blessing, what about you? What housing options were you able to choose from?
Well, I think Uchenna said it all. To be honest, I think you should try to like secure a place before coming. However, I'm going to have for the kind of school I am, like the student accommodation is quite a lot. So it's advisable that you pick an option of the student accommodation when you're coming first. Because I
Okay.
mean school is secured. If you pay to the school, nobody's going to say any like there's no you can't doubt it that you're paying to the wrong person because you're paying to the school. So get the student accommodation, and fair enough, when you now get here you can now decide literally, oh, do I still want to continue with the school accommodation, should I get my
Mm-hmm.
accommodation? Those decisions are now when you get here, because we're all different. I started with a student accommodation, but now I'm in a rent. I share with fellow Nigerians like me too, so
Okay.
it's fair that you secure a place before coming. And if you're coming to somewhere like my school, it's good that you get the student accommodation. It's a lovely place, nice
Mm.
place, and let's say it's value for money. Yeah, value for money, definitely. I mean,
All
it'll
right.
be better than paying for Airbnb or something.
Yeah. It's cost effective, right?
Basically,
Yeah. I see Shalom is here now. Shalom, can you hear us? Okay.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear
sorry.
you.
Okay. Shalom, do you mind sharing your video with us? Like have the video is turned off. People would like to see you.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So if you're just joining us, this is the live seminars, and we have with us current students studying in Ireland, Blessing from the University of Limerick, Uchenna from Atlantic Technological University,
Yeah.
and Shalom is here now. We have missed you, Shalom. We're so happy to have you here. Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
So we'll soon be wrapping up, and I would like for you to at least introduce yourself, tell us your name,
Yeah.
tell people watching your name, institution of study, and your course of study.
Yeah. So my name is Shalom Ibe Udensi, and I'm a second year biotechnology and biopharmaceutical science student in LIT.
Okay.
Yeah.
So LIT is currently known as
US. Yeah.
Technological University of the Shannon, in case for those of you that don't know. So Shalom, welcome. So let's just talk through your student life, in Ireland, from your studies and everything. So maybe we just begin from the top and touch a few things. So what motivated you to study in Ireland?
Yeah. To be honest, my biggest motivation to study in Ireland was being able to actually study and work. I wanted to be in an environment where I could be able to like study and still be able to make money for myself, because Nigeria wasn't giving me that platform, to be honest. And then I always wanted that for myself. I was always somebody that wanted to be able to actually get work done, make money as I'm studying. And to be honest, that was my first option when I thought about leaving the country. My first option was the US. But when the US didn't work out, my auntie, who was my agent, told me about Ireland, and she said she has a friend there, and then she worked everything out for me, and I just found myself here.
And voila, you're here.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you didn't do your application process yourself. Like you said, it was your auntie that supported that process,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, so
no,
she's a
I
study
didn't.
consultant.
Yeah,
All right. So let's talk about your let's quickly talk about your arrival in Ireland. Just make it brief so we can take questions from our participants.
yeah. Um, so I arrived in Ireland like 2 weeks before the college resumed for new students. I think that was on the 20th of September was when college was supposed to resume for new students, and then I arrived like 2 weeks before. And I would say my arrival in Ireland was like very smooth. I didn't encounter any difficulties all the way. And then I remember my college also made life easy for us because they provided like transport at the airport for us to get to wherever we were going to. So that made life really easy for me because obviously I was new to the country, so I didn't know a lot of places. But the fact that there was transport provided, that made things easy for me. And then I just used the first 2 weeks to actually get what I needed. I used the first 2 weeks to like get used to the country and get to know places. And yeah, and my first few weeks in college was really nice as well because everybody was willing to help me. The fact that I was clueless and I knew nothing about the whole environment, it didn't affect me because I was able to like just ask people questions, and everybody was actually willing to give a helping hand, and that made me really, really comfortable. So yeah.
Hmm. Good to know. We'll be wrapping up very soon. But before I let you all go, I would like to hear from Shalom. What's your classroom experience like? Did it meet your expectations? Did it exceed your expectations?
I would say it did, to be honest. I would say my classroom experience, it met my expectations 100%. Cause my classroom experience has been amazing so far. And then I've met a lot of very nice lecturers. Lecturers actually try to make the class exciting, entertaining, and I think that's a very important aspect of learning because you want to actually enjoy what you're learning. You don't just
Mm-hmm.
want to be in a study environment and it's all too serious. And my lecturers were people that kind of they always understand when they feel like, okay, students have had enough. Because there's sometimes they'll be like, oh, I feel like you guys have had enough, I'm going to end the class now. And I think that really went a long way, because then you don't have to take in too much at once. And then the fact that when I was in first year, I used to have like tutorial sections, and that went a long way for me as well, because like it would help you understand better with like math, physics, and all the calculation courses. So the tutorial sessions really went a long way for me. So my classroom experience in general, it's been amazing. I've been enjoying the whole process, to be honest.
All right. So if you're just joining us, we've been speaking to Blessing, Uchenna, and Shalom. Shalom just joined us. She's a student at the Technological University of the Shannon. So she's been taking us through her student life in Ireland.
Yeah.
So Shalom, so I mean, have you been able to secure work in Ireland or internship as you study?
Yeah, I have. I've been working since the first year I got to this place. I got I know it's not internship, it's just regular like student jobs you get. And when I say student jobs, it's like waiting, it could be like retail assistant and all that. And personally, I'm a waitress. And I was able to secure that, I don't know, like 2 months after I got to this place, and I've been working in the same place. So yeah, I was able to get a job.
All right. So let's quickly take some questions. Uchenna, someone particularly asked you a question, and it's saying, Uchenna, how did you go about looking for a place? Maybe you want to just drop like a website or a link or something. Just make it very brief.
So let me just open the. So there are actually two key places that you can look for. There are actually two key places that you can look for accommodation in Ireland, which is rent.ie and daft.ie. I'm putting both of them into the comment section. So if you just search for rent.ie and daft.ie, you find it. And also, another good place is to find letting agents and stuff like that. So I know if letting agents in my city, but I'm not quite sure what city the person is going to. But then if you can find letting agents in your city too, and tell them that you're looking for a place, you can just drop your number for them, and then if there's a place available, they will contact you and they will offer you a place. I wanted to mention something earlier. So there's something that I didn't cover, and then that no one else covered it too. And it's the type of accommodation to look for and their cost. So usually the cheapest kind of accommodation to get for. So like I mentioned, the first accommodation I had, I was staying alone. So it was not only I felt a bit lonely then, but then again it was on the pricey side. It was just kind of like a 1-bed apartment. Then I had to move out, and the cheapest accommodation for students is typically like a duplex, and you share it with like 3 or 4 or 5 other people. So it's a 3-bed apartment, a 4-bed apartment, a 5-bed apartment, and you just couple around with a few other people and you share the total cost of the house. That's kind of like the cheapest places before you now move forward to like student accommodation. Student accommodation is usually more expensive than actually renting your place outside school. It's safer, but people say it's safer, but at the end of the day, it's everywhere is safe, because the front door to my house, we haven't found the key in like 4 months, and we sleep with the door open. We go out with the door open, and we've never even thought of even trying to change the lock or something, and it doesn't even bother us when we go to sleep. So it doesn't quite matter about when people say things about safety, but no one is going to come into your house to come and take something now.
That's an excellent level of safety. So someone asked here, did you all take the English language proficiency exam? I'm guessing they didn't hear you when you mentioned it.
Yeah, it's compulsory.
You
have to.
It's compulsory, yeah.
So is it like a visa requirement, or is it your school?
It's the
admission itself.
Okay. All right, so that answered that.
But let me just speak to it to this. I think most people I know that are even coming this year, they are taking the Duolingo test. It's cheaper, and you can do it from your home. You can do it at any single time. It's cheap. I think it just costs about $49 compared to the IELTS and the other ones from US. I can't remember the name. It starts with the P. I can't remember the name anymore. But I think Duolingo is the cheapest amongst them, and it's the most convenient because you can write it anywhere. I wrote mine from my sitting room. I just put on my laptop. You have to put on your camera so they'll see you. So I think Duolingo is the best to go. And since you're coming to Ireland, the embassy accepts Duolingo, so you could just write Duolingo, pay for it for €49 and $49, and you're good.
All right. And we have another question here, still on language. Someone said, someone's asking, have you had to learn the language, or is English sufficient?
No.
So,
Well, Ireland is the official language in Ireland is actually English, even though they are Irish. So most of the courses or your lecturers, in fact, you relate to people with in English, so you don't have to worry about that.
You
And
communicate
Yeah,
using
in
English.
English,
yeah.
yeah.
There
So
are
if you
people.
want to learn
There are
Irish,
people can speak. There are people can't even speak English. Only 3% of the population, the Irish population, speak English. So you would, since I've been here, I've never heard anybody that spoke Irish. Everybody speaks English.
That
maybe just in the buses, and that's for people like the local people that really can translate
Nah.
the
Yeah,
English.
Irish is once you can speak English, you're fine.
okay. So, Uchenna, you meant since you've been there, you've not heard anyone speak Irish.
Nope.
Is that what you're trying to
Nope.
say?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, maybe your views, I don't know. But here in Limerick, there's some few people speak Irish. Like I
Yeah,
have Irish classmates.
few people do, but it's not very rampant, to be
It's
honest.
not actually, to be honest. Yeah.
So I think the point now is, if you're looking to study in Ireland as an African student, an international student, you should not worry about the language, situation there, because everyone speaks. I mean, English is an English-speaking country, so you're going to even receive your classes in English language. Is that okay? I hope everyone listening to us, I hope that answers your question for those asking. So we'll be wrapping up shortly. I would like to, hear from you all, the three of you. I think I'll start with Shalom. What advice do you have for students looking to come to study in Ireland?
Mm, I feel like personally, Ireland is a good place. Like I said, this wasn't my first time, but I'm here and I'm happy to be here. So if you have plans of coming to Ireland, don't think twice. Like you're making the right choice, and everything would actually work out for you. The Irish people are very nice. You'd find your way around. You'd find people like you, and as soon as you get here, like just actually take life very seriously. Take your academic, and for people going straight into college, like you need to take tutorials, lab reports, and all that very seriously because they go a long way. And then I feel like after you're done with studying, it's your brain, it's your results that's gonna speak for you. So you actually have to be very, very serious once you get to this place. There's nothing to worry about. You'd find your way around. Even if you encounter maybe some difficulties, you would still be able to handle it because there will be people around willing to help you. So if you're thinking of coming to Ireland,
All right. Okay. So thank you so much. I think we are out of time now. It's so great to have had this conversation with you all. Shalom, blessing, and Uchenna. Thank you so much. Good to see you, and we hope to see you again. We wish you all the best in Ireland and graduate in flying colors, and have all the fun.
uh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.